Gangstalkers are dumb. Gangstalkers are gay. They're worse than I can say. And I hope they pay. I hope they get spayed and neutered. Love-bombed and hoovered. Handled and maneuvered. And caged like a new bird. I hope they get caught in their own traps. And if dudes are real, zapped by their own zaps. If they're tap dancers, I hope they have unrhythmic taps. Gangstalkers are so lame, they're worse than the Joker and Bane. They're like Xerxes from 300. I hope they get defunded. Then they'd have to change their name to hide their pain and their shame. They act like this is a game, but that's just because they have stolen power. My penis head is like a rose petal or a flower. It's not something to voyeuristically watch while I'm in the shower. And that's how I feel about gangstalkers. They did something else to our food, to my bag of chips. I had a bag of chips that I had already opened. It was sitting on the kitchen table. And then last night, I was eating some chips in the dark, and I thought, this looks really burnt. This one chip, in the handful of chips, this one looks really burned. But I ate it anyway, not thinking anything of it. And then, like, a minute later, I saw another one, and I was like, that's not even a chip at all. That's whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. I posted a picture of it, and it got like, I think maybe like 4,000 views in like a day. And, well, whatever it was, I don't know, but it looked like a crumb from an Oreo almost. Like, but it was big. It was like the size of like a dime. It was more thin than an Oreo. And it also had some kind of off coloring, like it was dipped in icing or something. You know, I had an Oreo cake the other day, an Oreo pie. But I had already thrown it out. And even if I hadn't, it's not gonna end up in my chip bag. I'm not like, munching down like the Cookie Monster on Oreos and they're just getting everywhere in my chip bag. An ambulance just drove by. But even so, I'd already thrown that Oreo pie out before I got those chips. And I thought, did they go through our green bin? And, did they go through our green bin and get some like garbage, some disgusting old Oreo chip and piece of Oreo crumb? It wasn't a crumb, it looked like a chip, but it was like bigger, less big than a chip, but more big than a crumb. And did they put that? I smelled it. Didn't really smell like anything. And then there was that weird off-colored white, that part of it was colored on both sides. That also wouldn't have made sense. It was an Oreo, because if it was from the Oreo pie, like an Oreo from the pie, because the pie filling. It was vanilla pie filling on top of the Oreo cookie crumb crust, which I crushed those cookies myself, so they could have broken up into some weird shapes. Some of them were kind of chunks. But if it was covered in cake or like pie filling, it would have been covered on one side presumably. But this was only partially colored, but on both sides. I mean, who knows? I have no idea. It didn't really smell like Oreo. Then I broke it apart to see its texture, and it cracked pretty easily, and I was pretty sure what I had eaten previously was not a burnt chip, but in fact one of those things. And then they do this thing, I mean, I'm not sure, I have to ask my mom about this, but they color our toilet paper. There's like blue streaks. They put these like black and blue crayon marks all over our walls. And it looks like they do the same thing on our toilet paper, because we keep our new rolls of toilet paper on the back of the toilet. And so very often, whenever there's a new roll of toilet paper, there'll be these like blue smudges on it. And so today, there's one headliner. Today they had, tonight I noticed that. And that would probably be because I went out for a walk a couple days ago. I was high and I went out for a walk, and I was condemning the gangstalkers and saying, they should be mowed down with a Gatling gun, and that may have done it. Also, I've been going out for walks lately, so that may have been the reason why. And then I didn't check my Quora for a couple days too, and so it's really nice going back to Quora. And I sort of had a devious thought that if I don't sign in, I bet a bunch of the people on there will miss me and they'll think I'm dead, and then they'll really love me. But what I didn't realize is once I didn't have the support, because I get support from the people I love on Quora, and to some extent from YouTube too. I mean, it's the same support, but it's just there's more people on Quora. And so without that support for a couple days, my plan backfired. I was like, they're gonna miss me, but then then I just felt really bad. I was just without a support system for a couple days, and I just felt like, kind of really negative, kind of letting them get the best of me, like negative comments were kind of sticking around in my head. And then I think just too, by having a devious kind of plan, like I'm going to make them miss me, I think that opened a door into some kind of like manipulative energy. And then because I opened that door myself, then I was more subject to the manipulation, to the bad energy of the gangstalkers. And somehow it allowed them to poison me more somehow. So I was more affected by the negative comments. Even though I wasn't reading them, I knew they were there. And so, I said that, and I was like, I'm back now, and I do feel a lot better. I feel better being back. And, it's like a fucking snowstorm out here. It's crazy cold, -10. And as for, finding what is like looking like poison, in my food, and there's a lot of times where I suspect things like that. Like, I have this almond milk, for example. I won't drink it because if I do, I'm probably gonna be sick, and I know that from experience. Like, it's the same, not any almond milk, but this particular carton of it, I thought, it's my almond milk. It's flavored like vanilla. They know my mom's not going to drink that, so that's an easy thing for them to poison. I'm sure they'll poison anything, no matter who has it. But I mean, if I go out for a walk, they're going to try and punish that I have this vanilla flavored almond milk So that's going to be an easy target for them to put something in it. And you might say, well, just get a camera. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, first of all, if you have Wi-Fi, they'll hack it. Second of all, if you don't have Wi-Fi, they will take the memory card out. And so you'll just have a deleted spot where they came in. And so what are you really going to do? Like have a camera that watches the camera, and then have a camera that watches that camera, and have another camera that watches that camera ad infinitum. How much money do you have? Like, you know, how much time do you have to go through the footage every night? Do you want, you know? And then, you know, do you have a camera outside for your car? Because they, you know, they can do something to that. They'll drain transmission fluid, drain the brake fluid, or they'll just cause you an accident. Say you do have all those cameras. Then they'll say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead, Slick. We'll just, you know, we'll just cause an accident with you. These are like the worst people. These are like pure rapists. They're the worst people. I didn't know bad people. I had personally never met bad people before these people. $5.97. Okay, so I think I need some chips. The only reason I'm here is to get this soft drink. To get this, it's not soft drink, it's bubbly. But I am getting macaroni. And I should get some more snacks. I have macaroni. I don't exactly know what I should get for snacks. Barbecue chips. I feel like this is a little bit lacking. Oh, you know what? I have the stuff to make subs, so that's fine. Also, my meditation got really good today. I just felt the upwards flowing energy, and I was like, oh, that's so great. It means a lot to me. And so I just laid down with my eyes closed, and I just enjoyed that for a while. 3 for 10. See, I would get some cereal, but then I have to get almond milk because I'm not feeling safe to drink that other almond milk. And then I have a cake too. I made a really good cake. I've been wanting a cake for a long time. This is the gangstalker coming up here, the employee. But what's it called? I had made these pies. Like I made an Oreo pie. Then before that I made a vanilla pie. Before that I made a banana cream pie. And none of them were good. And this one's scratching the head. She's a fucking gangstalker. I mean, half of them are. Half the people here are gangstalkers. But she's one in particular. And so I was disappointed. All my pies were too runny. Forget what was wrong with the Oreo pie. There's just something not good about it. And so finally I got this cake and I just had it down. I was like, this is exactly. But then, did that person try and back up into me? Just a gesture of it. But then, this cake I finally got, you know, it was like vanilla icing. It was like a buttercream cake or something. It was really good. There's like half of it left. But I don't really feel comfortable to eat it. Not interested. Print only. So my sweet tooth. Somehow, you know, when you think of snacks, you kind of think of a sweet tooth. I don't know if it's just some kind of mental thing. But when I get chips, I'm like, oh, that's gonna take care of the sweet tooth for the night. If I wasn't vegan, I'd get some Reese peanut butter cups. And I think that would be about my favorite thing. I think, you can get vegan Reese peanut butter cups. You know how much they cost? For a pack of 12? $60. Is this a gangstalker? Most likely. It's kind of abrupt. When I was, after I went to the police station to tell them I got raped, they entered the emergency room. I ran away from home at one time because my phone went missing and I didn't know who stole it and I didn't feel comfortable sleeping at home. So I went to the bank to sleep in the bank. And when I got out, there was a taxi cab sleeping in the parking lot. So I knocked on his window and he woke up and I said, "Can you take me somewhere?" And so he did. And on the drive, this is before I know that there's a global cabal of human traffickers. And so he says, "So what's going on?" And I said, "Well, I'm just sleeping at the bank because I don't trust anyone right now." And he says, "I have a nephew like that who's mentally ill. And he thinks that he got raped." He thinks, he's mentally ill, but he thinks that, he falsely thinks he got raped. And at that time, I'm so, oblivious that this guy's a gangstalker. I'm thinking, oh yeah, no, that's totally common. Yeah, it does happen. It does happen. Because this guy's saying he thinks people who wouldn't ever rape him. It's not like he thinks he got raped in an alley while he was touring in some other country. And he thinks very trusted people have raped him. And I was like, yeah, no, it totally happens. Totally happens. And the guy too, he was huge, this guy. But he was kind of aggressive in a way. He had a very caring attitude as well. But he was very aggressive. I went to sit in the front seat and he's like, "Sit in the back." I can't even do an impression, but it felt almost fearful, like a very sharp and pointed kind of correction, like oh, don't you dare sit in the front. It was a little bit over the top. And I don't even think I had enough money. And you could see the duplicity. I think I have dated a gangstalker. I'm pretty sure I've been in love with one of them too. And I'm pretty sure a couple of them were in love with me. And you could see how they're very gentle. They're very wherever they're compartmentalized. To the one who drops the bomb, they're saying, well, we have to kill billions because that's going to save billions. The world is overpopulated, so a few billion people have to die, but that's going to save billions. So we are good people. We are caring people. We're doing what we have to. Or to the old lady who she thinks you're a drug dealer, and she's like, well, my grandson is going to get into drugs if I don't drive by you and honk the horn to let you know that you're, I heard you're a drug dealer, so I have to keep an eye on you. They all think. They all have a way of making it okay, wherever they're at in their compartmentalization in the human trafficking scheme. To each person, it makes sense to them. And so a lot of them are very gentle, you know, like, well, I'm a very kind person, and I'm just here to you know, to mimic your insanity. Here's two cops passing by. I know you can't really see because the window is so messed up. Now, could those cops be passing by because I'm talking about cops going to the police station? Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm pretty sure. I'm very sure they're listening right now in real time. But it doesn't stand the light of day. Everything they do, it's like they have to keep it secret. And so, yeah, it's kind of disturbing. You know, someone broke in our house and put something in my food. You know, that's kind of, it's disturbing. Yeah, it's fucking, it's terrorism, really. That's what it is. Especially after you've been really hurt by these people. And I'm not sure there's any compliance out of it. I'm not sure if I just said, well, I'll just never leave the house. I mean, is that realistic anyways? They punish even if I go out in our yard. So I'm not sure I could say, well, I'll just literally never leave the house, and then I can assume that there'll never be a break-in again. Their point is to kill you. It's not to do behavior modification. It's to kill you and to steal your shit, basically. To kill you and make money off of it. Today I did the snow blowing. I don't know if you could see it. It was like a million feet. It was a million feet deep. It's crazy. I was almost puking. Our snowblower is self-propelled, but only in a weird way. It doesn't have a motor in the wheels. It just has the blades for the snow, but the blades themselves pull the snowblower forward. I'll show you. Like, here's you might not be able to see it because of the glare. I'll show you the light. They broke the light switch off. I don't think you can see it. I don't think you can see it. If you see, like, I could stick my finger in there, whereas this one, you could push the button. You know, there's like a button here. Here you can stick your finger. They broke the button off. Maybe I'll go inside and show you the stuff on the toilet paper. I don't know what that is. I think I may have asked someone about what that is and they didn't know. It's there very frequently, and it's a really similar marking to what they draw on our walls. These haters are like, well, you know, are you a woman? You think you're being human trafficked? Are you a woman? Hey, I've had overtly gay gangstalkers. I'm not just talking about married men, but I mean like aggressive, introduce me to their boyfriend, borderline openly, overtly harass me with a very obvious sexual undertone. And just because hypothetically you don't get raped doesn't mean you're not being human trafficked. Whew. Okay, so this is what's frequently on our toilet paper. Can you see this discoloration here? And there's a smudge right there. That's very frequently there. And then it looks kind of like these lines here. These lines are drawn all over our house. You can, you see that, and these lines are drawn. Here looks kind of like a smudge. These are, I could show you I could show you like 30 of these. Now, if we go into the toilet paper section, is there any of these smudges on the other toilet paper? I don't think so. And then today was kind of a very strange day. We have these gang-stalking neighbors who work at the market, and they sell donaires. And my grandma went and got one today for my mom, and it has meat on it. And I am vegan, and I don't eat food from them, from the neighbors. I mean, could you imagine your human trafficker making you food? But there was leftovers and it was going to waste, and so I was like, no, I'm not eating that. But a donaire, seems pretty good. So finally I was like, well, would they have poisoned it like right in front of them? Like, they make it in front of a window, and so it's probably not poisoned, and then it's just an emotional thing. Do I want to eat food from? So I was like, okay, well, I'll eat it, but I won't heat it up. So it will just be like, well, I have to eat because I'm hungry, but I'm not going to enjoy it. And so I did that, and then I also had some of these apple fritters, which they're not getting eaten. I like some of them, so I had like 1.5 of these, and these are just like the best, So I had like a dessert. I thought, oh, so this is what it's like to eat like a human trafficker. Like when I ate that donaire, I was like, oh, like this is the, when a human trafficker binges, this is the release they get. They get like this certain feeling, this certain flavor. I was like, isn't that a cheap prize for being a human trafficker? You get like a little bit of feta cheese. That's like you get a feta bomb, feta. You can bounce around and you could say feta bomb, feta bomb. That's your fuck you, big boy. Very fuck you. Ooh. And so it helps, like one person, when I posted it helps not to dance around saying feta bomb feta, but to post, so I posted the crumb. I'll show you actually. I wanted to actually ask someone about it, so I didn't throw it out, and so I kept it here. This is what I found in my chip bag. Before I broke it, and it looked like a guy with a goatee in profile view. Someone commented that, and it made me laugh. And then someone else commented, I had the same thing in my Taco Bell the other day, and I didn't know if he meant the same thing, because I had mentioned in that post that my almond milk, I think that they did something to my almond milk, and then I posted a picture of that piece of whatever that crumb is, that Oreo thing. And so I didn't know if he was talking in general that something was done to his Taco Bell, or if he found a similar looking item in his burrito. But it helped, having like a few thousand people, say, oh, that's, yeah, dude, and one person's like, you're schizophrenic, you need help. But no one, everyone ignored him, and even his picture was lame, and lots of people saying, yeah, like, hey, I'm going through it too, and doesn't it suck, and but we have each other, And so it helps bear the shock of it, because it's a tremendous violation of privacy. It's, of safety. You never feel safe. What can, you know, you, what can you do? You feel so helpless. Anyways, so I think that's about all there is to say. Thanks for listening. Today is definitely a really good day. I actually feel better today than I did on acid a couple days ago. And so that's just fantastic. I'm beside myself with that. So, bye.